Hello everyone, it's George from Ireland. Here I am outside Buckingham Palace, and it's been closed to traffic. It's normally open to traffic except on a Sunday. So tens of thousands of people are milling around. Many people are wearing black suits and black ties in mourning for the monarch who died yesterday, Elizabeth II, who passed away at the age of 96 at her private residence in Balmoral, Scotland. So you can see flags are at half-mast. Until the death of Princess Diana 25 years ago, flags were never lowered on the basis that the monarch never dies, because the moment that the monarch dies, the next one succeeds. But under public pressure, they lowered the flag, and indeed King Charles III has ordered the flag be lowered in tribute to his late mother. So people from all over the world are here. The various media booths been hired by journalists, by broadcasters from other countries here as of major royal events, so they can be reporting here. So Her Majesty the Queen, his body is going to be returned from Scotland, flown down to London. It'll lie in state in Westminster, very close to here, for 3 days. They've been a closed casket. The cause of death shall not be disclosed to the public. The exact time of death, likewise. It was announced at 6:31 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time yesterday, being Thursday, the 8th of September 2022. But it's speculated she died sometime early that day, roughly 2 p.m. That she died, and it's thought that although her eldest son, Prince Charles, was by her bedside, other members of the family didn't quite make it. It was at 12:30 yesterday that her doctors released a bulletin to the public saying that they were deeply concerned for Her Majesty's health and they were keeping her under observation. So that was a very strong signal that she had indeed come very close to death. And at 2 o'clock, BBC suspended its scheduled programming, and BBC newscasters donned black suits, black ties, together with white shirts. So I'm not sure who's coming in here, which member of the royal family will be landing by helicopter in the gardens of Buckingham Palace behind me. So there are people from all walks of life, all races and religions here, coming around. Various people are paying tribute to Her Britannic Majesty. Sports matches have been cancelled. Black flags have been raised. People are lowering their flags to half-mast all over the globe. And I was actually touched to find that in the United States, President Biden has ordered the American flag be lowered to half-mast until such time as the funeral takes place, which is in roughly 10 days' time. The actual date has not been disclosed. A funeral to take place in Westminster Abbey, not a mile from here, an extremely historic church built in the mid-11th century by King Edward the Confessor, and that indeed is where Her Majesty the Queen was married in 1947, where she was crowned in 1953, where many royal ceremonies have taken place, where many of her most illustrious ancestors and ancestresses are laid to rest. However, the funeral procession will then proceed to St George's Chapel, Windsor Castle, where in a private ceremony, the family only, away from the cameras, she will be buried beside her late husband, His Royal Highness Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, a prince of the United Kingdom and Greece. She'll be buried beneath the floor of the chapel beside her late husband. So that's it. These are momentous times we're living through. Only yesterday morning I was saying to myself, it's hard to imagine being without her. Felt like there was always an adult in the room, immensely reassuring the continuity that she represented, having lived for almost a century, someone who was born at the time of the General Strike. You remember the Great Depression, who was a teenager when the Second World War broke out. Indeed, is one of the very few serving members of the British Armed Forces from the Second World War still alive. She was an army truck driver in 1944 when she turned 18. So anyway, the second helicopter has joined it. Well, thank you for watching that. There are police all around because it's a very crowded situation. The mood is tranquil but a little bit somber. Her death was not unanticipated. So King Charles III is at the helm, and it was only 2 days earlier that the Queen appointed Liz Truss as Prime Minister. For the very first time, the monarch and the Prime Minister have the same name, Elizabeth. Admittedly, the Prime Minister's name is actually Mary Elizabeth Truss, but she uses a middle name. And then, by another curious coincidence, the Queen's middle name is the same as the Prime Minister's first name. The Queen's middle name was Mary, while the other one was Alexandra. So thank you very much for watching this. So what are your thoughts about Her Britannic Majesty? How will you remember? These are very significant times we're moving through. And so Prince William of Wales, he's now going to be elevated to the title of Prince of Wales. He shall undergo the investiture ceremony at Caernarfon, Castle, Wales next year, I would say in the early summer. His father's coronation's penciled in for June next year. Allow a decent interval for mourning and then allow time to finalise the plans and to have heads of state find a day in their diaries that they can all do to represent their countries in person. But this may well be the end of the monarchy in Australia and perhaps in Jamaica. They might hold another referendum on the abolition of the monarchy in Australia. Likewise, Andrew Holness, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, has indicated that he would like to stage a referendum with a view to doing away with the monarchy in Jamaica and it moving to a Republican constitution. So thank you very much for watching this video, and make sure you subscribe on Patreon, donate to me on PayPal, georgecallahan79@gmail.com. Goodbye from Buckingham Palace. Ooh, who's come out? Cheers.